Good morning, Rodney. I love you. I decided to have one of my children with me as I take them to school and do one of these. You know, I shared this last night. The person that I'm living at for my sober living house is found a way so I don't have to pay the rent next month, and well, at least for 2 months, if 2 months is what I need. And I'm truly blessed for that. That was amazing. I didn't think she cared for me, and then when I talked to her on the phone, it's like arguing with my manager, and she had my back. I was a little caught off guard. What a blessing. And it's my fault if I don't get to know somebody and then I assume they don't like me. That's my fault, period. And that's shame on me for not reaching out and just having a conversation. I think I'm just scared of her, and she's given me the place to live while I work on my recovery. And so, but I was getting ready for work, and I, doing my push-ups and eating my oatmeal, and I thought about something. Potential. You remember when they would say in school, this kid has potential? They use that word all throughout your whole life. Oh, he has potential. She has potential. They have potential. You know what rhymes with potential? Fucking bullshit. Potential is a word to make you hope that you might be okay. You might be good, sorry. Potential gets you the interview. Potential gets you the job. Your efforts, your results, that keeps your job. I had the potential to go to jail. I had the potential to lose all my kids. You gotta grind in every area of your life. I gotta grind. You gotta put in the work. Everything is based on results. Your check doesn't say hours worked, overtime, deals, and potential. That's not a slot on that check. Potential is what they say when they want to talk about you in a good manner. They say, well, he had potential. But the reality of it all is you're remembered for what you did, and you're also remembered for what you didn't do. You're not really remembered about what you could have done. Sometimes they say that, but what could have done sounds like potential to me. I could sit back and say I have the potential to do something great. Or I can sit back and I can just work and just grind every single day. In every area of my life. That means my relationships. That means my connection to my higher power, to God. That means to my physical side, my financial side. When we get caught up in the whole potential thing, and we don't act, it means nothing. If you put 100% in to anything, if you put 50% into anything, you'll get a result. And really, the only thing that matters in life are results. The only thing. And doing nothing is a result. What can I do today to improve my life? What can I do today to stop being a fuck off? What can I do today to be kinder to people, to be humble? What can I do today to be of service? What can I do today for somebody else? Because really all that matters is a life of gratitude and a life of service. You do those two things, I do those two things, and I know my life will be a life fulfilled. And that dash that I talk about will mean something. That dash has nothing to do with potential. They don't look at that dash in between your birth date and your death date and say, well, here's all the shit we thought he might do. They look at the things you didn't do. They look at your failures, or which are results, and they look at the things you did do. And if you did a bunch of stuff and you didn't do anything for anybody else, then that's your journey. That's not going to be my journey. I spent my whole life being selfish. I've spent my whole life thinking selfish. And my goal from here on out is to spend my whole life being of service, to spend my whole life making sure that my children know that everything I'm doing is also for them. But I got to do it for me, so there's that selfish act. I do everything for me in terms of my recovery, so I can give everything to them and everything back to people in recovery. Because if it wasn't for recovery, I wouldn't have this video. I wouldn't be taking someone to school, and I'd probably be either wandering in a fucking tent right now in this fucking cold, icy, or jails, institutions, or death. I had the potential for those three things if I kept getting loaded. That's it. That's the end result. One of those three things. I've never met somebody in recovery or somebody in active addiction. I've never met somebody in active addiction that those three things weren't their outcome. I've never heard somebody in a meeting share outcome number 4 either. They either lost everything, homeless, or you hear about them dying out there, or you hear about them in jail, or you hear about them in an institution. I've been in an institution 3 times. You know, it doesn't have to be mental institution, although treatment is a form of mental institution. I was diagnosed a mental health whatever. And the result of that is it said, when will you be cured? And it said, never. I'll always have that. And I love that I'll always have that, because then that means I always have something to work towards. Because there's always going to be a situation in my life in the future, somebody's going to die, I'm going to lose something, my job, something, I'm going to change my career, who knows? But there's going to be a massive change in my life where it comes, like, somebody's going to die, that's for sure. That's going to happen no matter what. What am I going to do when that happens? Am I going to wallow in my sorrows, get loaded, work through it that way just so I could fuck up the rest of my life and the people around me? Or am I going to do like I see in people in meetings, go in and share about how they feel and share that they want to get loaded and they're not fucking getting loaded, and that's the only thing that they want to do and they're not doing it? That fucking right there is fucking strong as fuck. I'll take that over somebody who just fucking doesn't talk about their feelings, doesn't go through their feelings, and just works, 15 hours a day to get through it, and then just one day fucking implodes. And I've seen people do it more than once. I've seen people struggle with death more than once. With somebody sick more than once. I didn't do that. When my mom passed away, I did the other thing. The result of that was divorce, was drugs, was isolation, was mayhem, and it just little by little built up until I wanted to die. So I know how that works. I don't know how going through a situation and seeing somebody that you really care about get sick and fucking make a meeting. And I could sit back and say, I wish I would have done that for my mom, but I didn't. But if I did do that, then I wouldn't have this part of my journey. And now I have a connection to my mother just like I do with my higher power. It's very strong. She's always with me. I get to talk to her every day instead of having to call and she doesn't pick up the phone. I'm so grateful today to be in the position I am. I am so grateful. And this is an opportunity to make it better. You know, I looked in the mirror today and I thought, man, you're doing a good job. And then I told myself, now keep going. It doesn't end here. This isn't the end of my story. This is the beginning. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And we are worth our efforts. We're also worth our mistakes and bad decisions. So if you haven't heard this today, I love you. If I don't know you, I still love you. Because if I can just follow the principles of what I hear every Sunday, you love everybody. Whether you have a problem with them, whether they hurt you, you love them. You don't have to like them. You just love them. And then maybe one day somebody will love you. Maybe one day somebody will love me. I know people do. But if I don't love myself, how can I love somebody else? Have a good morning and do something good for somebody today. I don't give a shit if it's walking them across the street or opening the door. Do a bunch of those things. You'll feel good about yourself. Don't ask for anything in return.